Wait!
Don't waste your ammunition!
Never thought.
Hey, g'day and welcome to another Let's Play. This one is on Rock Galactic. Now, I did actually preview this game probably around about 2 months ago when it was in a weekend testing, and I was fortunate enough to get a key. But in this case now, it's now released out on Steam, and the link will be down below, and let's actually have a look at some of the changes. Now, the previous videos I've made are still reasonably current. It still talks about the 4 characters and the weapons and equipment they have, and that hasn't changed too much, but there are definitely a lot of additions that have come to the game. So let's have a little bit of a let's play on perhaps a mission and perhaps some of the changes from the last one. So let's jump into it. So you start off in your room when you actually launch, and that's basically the same. And you've got 2 things: is you can just jump in and do a quick launch if you want to jump straight into a game, and definitely collect your characters. Now, for those that haven't watched the other video, you've got 4 main dwarf characters you can take. You can take the scout, which is my personal favourite, if I'm in a good co-op team. You have the driller, you have the gunner, and you have the engineer. Now, I'm not going to go into each of the characters in overall detail, and there is a separate video on the detail of each of the characters and what they can actually bring to your party.
Yeah, I don't so much scout as make this operation possible.
Alright, and the other thing that is just great on this game is just the, not only the colours and the vibrancy and the pictures, and actually the optimization as well. It's actually just a very clean game at the moment. But the, I guess, the hearing the dwarves talk and the humour behind it is good. So you've got 4 4 bays, one with my name on it. A few features are still not in play yet, such as the med bay, and a couple of other rooms that are just sort of closed. So I do think there's a lot of work to still come into the actual game itself. When you're playing a co-op, these bays will actually fill the name with the person who has joined into the co-op team. Much fun can be had by all from just simply kicking barrels. But just watch where you kick the barrels, because
Barrels are to be left alone and not hurled, kicked, tossed, or in any way moved around,
because your boss might get a little bit angry. So a couple of new additions that weren't in the previous testing was certainly the vanity shop, where you can choose from an assortment of no beards, short beard, long beard, or massive beard. I'll stick with the massive beard. Upgrade of the gear. Upgrade is certainly a little bit harder or more extensive than we've had in the previous one. I thought I had a long beard on this guy, but that's okay. I do have a long beard. What's going on? Now we've got him back. So choosing your weapons, you can do the upgrades. They're very similar to the previous one. By clicking on it, you can actually then click on the upgrade. One of the major differences that I've seen now that it's released on Steam is the extensive use of the materials, or the special materials you can pick up from your missions. So as you can see, to do hair trigger, which is a faster rate of fire, takes 130 humanite. The armor piercing rounds will take 130 magnite, not to be confused with magnetite from Subnautica, so I'm sure I'm getting you slipped there, and 240 Enor pearls. Now, I've been playing the game for a little bit. I think I've probably got about maybe 20 hours up in this version, and as you can see, it's quite a grind to level up an item within a character, keeping in mind that depending the character you choose, you're going to have to do the same with each of the characters depending on what the critical or the material is. So picking out, now there isn't a restriction on the amount of characters. You could actually go into a mission with 4 scouts, 4 engineers, 4 drillers. So if you do have your favourite character, it's not a case that you're going to get kicked out, or you won't be able to play a game if you if there's 2 drillers or 2 scouts. So I do think that's a good thing as well. The favourite jukebox is still here.
Dance monkeys!
And we can have a bit of classical, or we may actually switch it up a bit.
That's sweet.
Bit of heavy metal. So you can change the looks once you've bought a beard or you've bought some headsets. I don't think the headsets are actually in play as yet, or your armor. You can actually change it up to give your character a little bit of a look. So while we're letting that play in the background, let's do the last thing. This is an elevator, so let's jump in the elevator because they have actually created some new things since the last one as well. So at this stage there's still a few closed, which is the shooting range, the abyss bar and mission control. Heading up here will simply take you to the observatory deck.
You are trespassing. Please turn around, get some work done.
And that's the observatory deck. You can observe and you can get told off by your boss. So let's go down, but the last thing we're going to do is just head into the memorial, which I think is a nice little addition into the game since the actual testing. So we'll go into the memorial hall, and it's, I guess, just set up for personal achievements.
The Memorial Hall is where we honor the fallen. Feel free to walk around and pay your respects.
So as you get such things as driller level 10, engineer, and so forth, your memorial hall will slowly build up. So this is, I think this is a nice part of the game. So you can sort of see we've got scout level 10 is growing up. The other thing I really like that Coffee Stain's done, or the game has done as well, is all the people that were in the beta testing have got their name in a plaque to say thank you for the help. So that's actually just a really nice addition as well. Alright, so let's get into it. So as I said, the first way to actually enter the game is straight from your cabin. The next way to enter the game is from the large world map here. So you can go to the mission terminal. A couple of things. So even though you only have, what I see is 3 biomes to choose from every time you come here, it does rotate between the entire 7. So if I came back in, let's say 21 minutes, an alternative 3 biomes would be available. So you've got the crystalline caverns, the fungus bogs, radioactive, salt pits, magna, sandblasted corridors, and the dense bio zone. You've got 2 choices, as you can actually create the list yourself. So let's say if we go for the magna, within the magna itself we've got 3 types of games. We've got where we would actually do a hunt for dreadnoughts. We have a linear type game, hunting for eggs. Where's the other one? In the sandblast here we've got 2 more. We've got we've got a vertical mine where we'll actually be digging down, and then the other one, which is actually the which is still locked for myself, but I understand that this is actually still the one where you're actually getting eggs itself. So it's more of a defensive game where you've got a single block, you're not moving too far away from your base, and you need to actually get collect eggs or pods to return back. So what I will do is I'll probably, depending on the feedback on this video, is I'll probably do a video on each of the mission types and what's required on each of the missions. So in this case here, You can start the mission by clicking on the one you have. You can actually either join, there's no games active, or hit a host, and you can create a game for people to actually join. In this case here, the second choice is if you want to go in, you can actually go to the server list, have a look at what's happening, the type of hazard. So in this case here, these guys are escaping, so it's probably not worth jumping on these guys. A mining expedition, and they're just starting. And an extraction point, as we talked about, a level green, on the sandblasted corridors, level 2. So we might jump into this one and see how it actually goes. Okay, so from here there's a driller and engineer. We're going to take a scout.
Let's move it.
Okay, so we've jumped into the game. Now the game actually does have in-game voice, and you can actually probably hear some of the other players in the background. You may even hear myself talking into the background as well. So I've actually just reduced the volume, just so we can actually sort of see. So as I said, it's a bit of a defensive position, this one. You actually start off uniquely different from the other games, and that is you start off with a platform, and the platform remains. So you actually go out, you explore out from the platform in order to get the commodities that's requested. In this case, it's sort of like a blue stone, and then bring that back, and you actually drop it in. Once you've collected all the commodities, much like the other games, you call for your drop pod and you evacuate. So let's move through and have a look at a little bit of the game.
Yes, okay. There is red sugar over here. Careful. Legs up.
Help me, please.
God damn it, there's a pebble in my way.
What? 是爆了
Lighting up.
Yes. Huh?
Just throw the eggs over the edge. Yeah, I'll collect them.
Okay, man.
Perfect.
我听到我就好了。
So definitely very co-op focused, and by working together such as that, one person's sort of collecting, and you do need to multitask. Like, it's not going to stop. They're going to keep on coming, and you're going to get swarms.
It's a big one, team.
That was probably on cue, wasn't planned, but yes, and the swarms will just get bigger and bigger, so you do need to work quickly. And even during the swarm, where possible, you need to sort of be attacking at the same time.
要进去开门键啊！
And probably this is a good example of a bit of a co-op play, even though this is a completely random team. It's, I'm running back with this blue crystal. He's actually sort of knocking off all the bugs that are chewing me from behind. And I think it is a great little co-op that's just recently been released.
Light Reloading! That's all you got, you slippery shit! Light is up.
So if you're not familiar with how to actually find the blue crystals, you need to look for the small ones that are sort of showing in the sand. Now if you turn your light off, and it's probably not a good example, turn your light off, you'll actually see the blue glowing in the background. But dig into the middle, like we have here, and that will get you your crystal. And then you can just pick it up and carry it. Obviously whilst you're carrying it you can't fire, so you'll need to drop the crystal, and by doing that you just swap to the weapon and that will throw the crystal in front of you. Just try not to die in the meantime. Like the other games as well, you're obviously looking at such things as nitra and other commodities as around. So you will find other special materials. The nitra is used to call in more resupplies. So it's important to keep your stocks up of nitra. It takes about 80 nitra, I think, to call in a resupply. As you can see here, we've now also found a pearl. So the pearl is obviously a special commodity, which is used for obviously upgrading your weapons, as we found before. Now you only get these if you successfully get the drop pod back. So just make sure you've got that. You'll drop it inside your storage collection.
Nice.
But you do need to get it back.
Let there be light.
One thing that we do have, which is slightly different to the first release, is the fact you've got secondary tasks. So in this case here, the secondary task is this bloom or the flower. So by collecting this, you'll get extra points for completing the second mission. So let's collect that stuff and drop it back in, and let's see how this mission ends up. Okay, so let's just fast track now to the ending of this episode, and let's see if we survive or we do not survive. So we've another swarm has come in, and the swarms actually get bigger and bigger as the mission goes. And I've gone down, I've taken one for the team. And as you can see, the dreadnoughts have actually started to come in now. So not only have you got the others, the dreadnoughts, I think it's about our third or fourth swarm, and we're one flower short. Actually, just really the two of us. Remember the rule: leave no dwarf behind. You actually do get a bonus. We had a couple of people drop out, unfortunately, so they do pop in a little bit later. But you do get bonuses for getting every dwarf out alive. Alright, sitting here, but
I'm coming, man.
Truly gutsy move. Like, he's coming in, I've got all these mobs on top of me, and he's just jumping on top.
No!
You're gonna die if you do it that way. Alright, but he revived me. He revived me. Absolute legend. I should have got his username, because definitely a true hero. So what we decided, I think at this stage, is not to get the last flower. A little bit disappointing, so we're not taking the second skill. Sorry, the second contract. We've now called for the drop pod. Once the drop pod is called, as you can see in the timer, you've got a 2-minute window waiting for the drop pod to land. Alright, straight up. Alright, drop pod is straight above us, so we need to make our way up there. So
Run.
Gunner has very fortunately dropped us a zip line. And once again, it is about co-op play, so it is about things like gunners giving you a path back in. If we've got a driller, the driller can actually drill straight to the drop pod. And it's like the other games, it is now a mad rush to get to your
Really? I'm here already.
You're here? Really? Not sure how you got there, but that's good. Oh yeah, I see how you got there.
Cover me, Gunner. I don't have any ammo left.
Drop pod departing in T-minus 2 minutes.
Oh, it's the Empire again.
Yeah, I know. It's for the Empire again. Alright, come on.
Holy shit.
At the bottom of the stairs. Only if you can...
No, Empire. You cover me. I saved that. Burn. Kill them. I will save the guy. Got C4. Use C4.
Just one of you jump out.
Ah.
Go.
Okay. In. Nice.
Wheel in. Oh.
Boy.
Well done, guys. We missed out on one flower, but we got out of that. Hey, and thank you very much. That was just a very quick Let's Play on one of the types of missions, which is like a defensive mission type on Deep Rock Galactic. So thank you very much. Hope you liked it. Don't forget to hit the likes, hit the subscribe for more of Deep Rock Galactic and other videos that I'm actually making. So what I may do is actually do videos on each of the biomes and maybe a couple of the different mission types as well, so people can actually see the difference. So thank you very much. Happy gaming, and look forward to seeing you in the next video. Okay, bye.